We are ATX AF. We are doing our sub-podcast, Local AF. And with us, we have a local business owner.
Right.
Tonight is a night of risk. We talked about risk in our first podcast.
Of the week.
And we've got Jill with us. Jill is the owner, proprietor, originator of the concept.
Yep.
Conceptualist.
I like that.
Yeah.
Work and Woof.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to let her tell us what Work and Woof is, and then I'm going to correct her. So, Jill.
Oh, that didn't describe our relationship. I don't know what does.
All right, Jill, tell us about Work and Woof.
Okay, so Work and Woof is the country's only co-working space and indoor dog park co-concept.
But there's an outdoor dog park, too.
Oh.
She's already got it wrong.
I know. I already left stuff out.
Yeah. No, I mean, come on. Let's hear the story. Tell us about Work and Woof. Tell us why. I know the story. I'll tell it if you don't. But why would we have you on?
I'm not going to let you outshine me.
Exactly. This is your list. So tell us about it. Tell us why you did it. Tell us what your heart is, your passion behind it. I know you're passionate about it. I see her every day with the dogs.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of funny stories. But we're going to let her start off and just tell us her vision, her passion, and tell us about it.
Yeah, so for the last 8 years, I've been a freelance social media marketer. And when I lived in Chicago, I was looking for a space, and that's when I became familiar with the concept of co-working. I really just wanted a place to go every day to work. And I loved it. I got to meet tons of interesting people, and I got to see the behind the scenes of how it operated. And I just really loved the idea that I could go somewhere every day, meet people from around the world that worked for themselves, that really kind of use that as a community space. Then when I moved to Austin, I got a dog, and I was looking for a space that I could bring her. And either you needed to have your dog tied down, quiet, you couldn't bring them at all, you needed to book 2 months in advance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just it was way too restrictive for how dog-friendly Austin is.
Right.
And so I ended up staying at home for an entire year, and I put her in daycare because it was way more important to me that she was happy and tired at the end of the day. And then Hurricane Harvey hit, and I'm a first-time dog owner. I don't like the rain. I don't like the heat. And so when it rained for 4 days straight, I asked people, I was like, what the hell does everyone do with their dog when it rains? And people are like, oh, take him to Academy, take him to Home Depot, keep him at home inside. And I was like, those suggestions suck.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah.
And then nobody had any other suggestions. And I was like, there's no indoor place for a dog to run around in this weather. Like, I'm from California. It's never this hot. It never rains like this. So I thought, you know what? If there was ever a city to build in, this would be it. So I had my parents fly out. I took them to another dog space, like basically like a park. And I was like, hey, listen, the dog per capita, like in this country or in this city, is so high. I was like, everybody has a dog. And I was like, I really think there's something here. I think there's a gap in dog ownership, like in terms of where you can take your dog, being able to bring your dog to work with you. And that's kind of how the concept was born in like September of 2017. And by June of 2018, we were open.
Awesome.
We just celebrated 1 year last week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I happen to co-work at this place.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. With my dog Pancake.
That's right.
And it's been a lifesaver for us. One of the things Pancake's a pit boxer. He's still a pup, I guess. Do they have to be 3 before they're not a puppy, or what?
Yeah, technically.
So he just turned 2. Okay. We hosted his birthday party there with Luca and Guapo, the 3 amigos.
That's right.
And
Guapo.
Yeah, so we had a good time. I love it. I think it's, it gives you a couple things. One, the co-working, the social aspect of it. I started working remotely for a company out of New York, and I'm a bit of a social creature.
Yes.
I don't need a lot of downtime.
No.
I need people. I feed off of that. So
and that's the only way to manage Dennis. Just if anybody ever has to be in charge of Dennis, just talk to him. You don't really have to tell him anything. You just have to pretend like you care. Yeah. And that's enough.
He pretended that he was my friend for so long, he actually became one.
Unfortunately.
That's how most of my managers were.
Yeah. What a beautiful story.
So we actually we had been taking our dog. We went on a Sunday because it was the same thing. It had been raining and hot, and our dog was we couldn't really go anywhere because our dog, we have a small apartment, 3rd floor walk up. And it was just like, well, what are we supposed to do? It's raining and our dog is nibbling at us and our dog is chewing on the couch and he's grabbing my shoes. And I know enough about dogs to know that if you make them tired, they probably won't chew on as much stuff.
Fair.
So we went on a Sunday, and I remember we hadn't had Pancake but just a couple weeks. And I honestly think it was the first time in his life he had an open space. Because I don't think you were there, but
I wasn't.
There was like 7 or 8 people, maybe 10 or 12, I don't remember, kind of sitting around with their dogs, and then my dog comes in and he's just like, what? I can move, and he just starts running everywhere, and he just starts jumping on people, and he starts jumping over things, and he's still that way. This past weekend he stayed home. He's chill all weekend, right? Yeah. We come in on Monday, and her dog Luca and Pancake, they're like besties, right? So Pancake's learning and growing. He's having some things that we're having to train him on.
Yeah, well, he's a teenager.
Yeah, you know how that is. So he's in the side yard by himself, but he gets to play with Luca. So Monday morning we come in and we bring him, and he just goes, and I'm sitting in. Now think about this, folks. I'm sitting at my desk. I'm working. And as I'm working, just over my computer, I see my dog and her dog just running and having the time of their lives. Jumping. My dog's rolling in mud. It had rained. He was trying to dig underneath and get into the big yard. He's jumping 10, 15 feet. And I'm taking videos and sending them to my fiance and taking pictures. And just that, it's a wonderful opportunity to, if you love your dog and you're working from home and you don't want to go spend hours at the dog park, you don't, you got to get stuff done.
Right.
And I think that was my problem. I remember I would be working and I have a helicopter headset, literally, that I use. And the first week I was at home, Pancake would just take after he'd be good for about 2-3 hours. Then all of a sudden he would just take and he would just knock my headset off with his nose, and he would just start like taking literally trying to take my headset off so I'd pay attention to him.
Oh my gosh!
And so I was like, I think I'm gonna go start working at Work and Woof. And it was 2 days a week, then it was 3 days a week. Now I just have an office there permanently. It's where I keep my shoes.
I was just about to say it's really just his shoe closet.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. With a big whiteboard.
It's shoe closet with a whiteboard.
And my plant, which you won't get back.
Yeah.
It's a fake plant. What does it matter?
He says it's contributing to the ambiance.
It is.
So let me ask you this. I have two dogs. Before I moved to Austin, I was completely afraid of dogs. I was bit in the face.
Oh my gosh.
When I was 10 years old, and by a dog on a leash. So I was like, maybe the dog isn't really the thing for me. I am a dog person. It's turned out, like there's nothing. I don't bond with any other.
There's dog
creature.
people and there's wrong people.
That's right. So we have 2 at home, Bagel and Omelet. They're the brunch puppies, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
And so Bagel's really awesome. He's a really good dog, well trained, listens to what you say. Obviously he has his moments. He's only 2. He's about to turn 2. But I mean, he's like the best dog in the world. And then we have Omelet, who's a distemper survivor. Okay. So he's when we got him, he didn't have distemper, and then he developed it within the first few weeks that we had him. So he had IVs, and we were doing all this stuff. And then Bagel and him were on house arrest because it's so contagious. So Omelet hasn't been exposed to a lot of things. We're working on potty training. We had to teach Omelet, just to use the patio because that was the only place that he could go that wasn't inside the house for months. So now I take him on long walks, and Omelet goes and he sniffs around, he does his thing, and then runs right into the patio and does his business. And it's like, well, that's really frustrating, right? Would Omelet be welcome in Work and Woof?
Yeah, so we do an evaluation for every single dog.
Okay.
We don't believe in just an umbrella breed restriction. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense because every situation is unique.
Yeah.
So what the process would be you'd bring him in,
Yeah.
we'd evaluate him. You know, I always tell people we evaluate him for aggression towards other dogs, aggression towards us, and whether or not they're really happy here.
Okay.
Because the first two, he may be okay, but he's not actually happy there.
Yeah.
So it's important to us that he actually would thrive there.
Okay.
And then we give you a really honest assessment of how they do.
Yeah.
You know, we'll tell you, here are some things we think that he could improve on and that we can help with, or things that, we don't really think we could help
Right.
with and that maybe you work on at home and then you bring back.
Okay.
But we don't think we do our customers a service if we don't tell them exactly how their dog's performing. And Dennis would be the perfect example of that, because Pancake is an amazing dog, but there are things about him that he needs to work on to be an even better dog. And, by telling telling the parents, your dog's fine, everything's fine.
Yeah.
We're not helping you and especially because Austin's so dog friendly. If you can work on your dog and make him great in public, there's really no restrictions to where you can take him, and that's a wonderful
That's very
thing.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to be 6 months.
Yep.
And they have to be spayed or neutered.
Yep.
And they have to have all their shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just ran into that today. We had an anti-vaxxer parent, and that's totally fine.
I mean, it's their priority.
Yeah, it's
but
absolutely, but
they just can't go to your school.
Yeah, because of the
right.
communal
Yeah, for sure.
environment, we can't
Yeah.
accept that, and it's not that common here, but it is for the safety of all the animals.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. That's completely understandable.
So where are you located?
We are on South Congress between Ben White and Stastny.
Okay.
Yeah. So my little neck of the woods.
That's
but
right, yeah.
It's kind of
Too far
buried
from
in
me.
behind.
Yep.
It's 4930 South Congress.
The first time I came to visit him, I drove around all the businesses in front. I actually drove past the Work and Woof because I was like, this isn't anywhere. This is not a real thing. I looked it up on my phone, and then eventually she was like, no, it's behind, idiot. And I was like, oh, yeah. I'm
It's
stupid.
pretty funny because we tell people, do you know where the Jurassic car wash is? And everyone's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, we're on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, okay, that helps a lot.
Yeah. He didn't tell me anything. Yeah.
Do you know where the Jurassic car wash is?
No.
Exactly. That's why I didn't tell you. I know you don't know the South. All right.
I was a Southie before you were a Southie, my friend.
But I'm a Southie at heart.
You are. Yeah.
You moved right out to Lakeway.
Well, I'm close to it.
Whatever, 2260.
I was living on campus before I moved out there. And then I went up there.
Whatever. All right, Jill, thank you for coming. Awesome. And again, risk taker.
Yeah.
Right? We've been talking about risk this week. She took a risk, and it's paid off. It's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's, and I'll tell you, her job, which she has people who work with the dogs. It's not just like her, bring me 40 dogs.
Yeah.
But I remember one morning, and we'll close with this. I remember one morning I came in, and she was sitting, and I bring my dog in. She's got 20 dogs, and her person called out sick.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, what's going on? She's like, oh, and I'm not going to have anybody for 3 hours. And I was like, well, I don't have anything going on for the next couple hours. And I jumped in and started playing with the dogs, right? Hour and a half later, I was done. I mean, these dogs... Can you, because these dogs play for hours on end, and I thought I've been a dad, I've had toddlers, I've worked with kids, I used to be blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, I mean hour and a half. I was just like, fuck this. You couldn't pay me enough to do this for a living.
Well, and we don't crate and kennel, so there's no place to put them.
Yeah.
So they are just out. And I remember really bonding with you, I think, for the very first time that day, because I couldn't believe that somebody that I didn't really know would sit in the yard with me. But after an hour and a half, he was like, okay, I need to go.
Yeah.
Just tapped out.
Right.
I was done. I think your person was almost there. They were.
Yeah.
They were almost there. I was like, you need to get them here quicker than 3 hours. So, but hey, listen. If you love your dog, you're down south. If you're looking for just a daycare, they do just the daycare side. But come co-work with me. Sometimes I'm there by myself. Sometimes it's me and 5 ladies, which I don't mind.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes, we've got
75 dogs and
75 dogs
And
Dennis. Which one's harder to handle? Not sure. But yeah, so it's a great place, and so I wanted to take this chance. Another risk taker, Jill. Thank you for taking that risk. It's made a difference in my life, and it's made a difference in a lot of other people's lives, both on the co-working side and on the dog side.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's 100% why I do it.
All right, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Local AF.